Graham, another big game. How do you see this one going?
Well, it's an old firm game, and anything can happen. Celtic obviously start as favourites. But when you try and attach logic to football matches, sometimes you come away scratching your head. It's at Parkhead, no away supporters. They are the champions at the moment. I witnessed 2 Old Firm games last year, the cup final, and a 2-1 game at Parkhead, and I didn't think there was a great deal between the sides. So I'm hoping Rangers enjoy a good day. But obviously Celtic will start as favourites.
You're saying there wasn't much between the two sides in the Scottish Cup final. When you look at the two squads as they are just now, how big a gap is there? You
can only play 11 when it's match day. I mean, Celtic are ahead because they've been in the Champions League for a number of years and obviously got money in the bank. They just sold the young boy Riley for another 25 million quid. Whether they spend all of that or some of that between now and the transfer window closing, we'll have to see. So yeah, Celtic have got a stronger squad, but I come back to it. You know, names on team sheets don't win you football matches. It's who turns up on the day, and the history of the Old Firm games is littered with the form book being thrown out the window for that particular game.
Yeah, because you're talking about the squads there, what do you think Rangers need to do in these remaining days of the window for their squad to try and bridge that gap?
Listen, I assume that they don't have a lot of money to spend. Philip will be like every manager out there. You're wanting to spend money, you're wanting better players, more of them. And they've not done that so far, so I don't expect a splurge between now and the weekend. He's got to work with the players he's got, and I'm sure that certain guarantees were made to him because he said yes to the job in the first place, and he's just signed a new contract. But I wish him well. I think he's a very good manager. I think he's been working at that football club in very different circumstances to when I was there. And I think he's done a great job so far, but he has to start winning Old Firm games if you're going to win the league.
I know finances are quite tight, but do you think he deserves to be backed by the board? Because he's
not
saying
whether
he
he
needs
deserves
players.
to be backed. The club can only support him. You can't. There's no money tree at Ibrox. I never found it, although I was backed to the hilt by David Holmes and David Murray, and it's a very different football club right now. But he's working with the players he's got. He's working under the circumstances that exist at this moment in time, and I think he's doing a very, very good job.
But do you think that there's a gap between Rangers and Celtic at the moment?
Well, you don't need me to confirm that.
In what sense? I
Well,
know Celtic have won the league.
that Celtic have been a dominant team in recent years, and Celtic have had more money in recent years. And as great as any manager might be, the more important thing at any football club, the most important thing at any football club, is having a top group of players.
Sorry, Graham, you touched on the finances at Rangers. Different now, far different to what it was back in your day. Does it upset you, disappoint you when you see the current state of the club?
No, I'm not going to say that. I think I witnessed them playing 2 Old Firm games last year, and I saw players playing for the team. They I'm sure will look back on last year and think that they were in a position to go and win that league, and then they slipped up in games which will be a major disappointment to them. So they have to get back on that horse and dust themselves down and go again. And playing in Old Firm games is not easy. When I came back here and tried to play in them, although I was trying to do 2 jobs, I found them very difficult. And going to Parkhead's as tough as it gets. But if you're going to win the league, these are games you have to turn up in. And now the manager has experience. He's had experience with several Old Firm games. And the new players from last year have had that experience. So they should be richer for the experience. And they should be relishing the challenge. They will know the importance of this match in the bigger picture, and they will know the importance of this match and what it means to our supporters. They've got to turn up. Don't get 15, 20 minutes, half an hour into the game and wake up. If ever there's a game you have to start right in, it's an Old Firm game. So I'm hoping that my team turn up at the weekend and do that.
Is that perhaps something they haven't done in recent derby matches?
No, I'm thinking the cup final. I thought they were a better team in the cup final. They should have won that. And again, they lost 2-1 at Parkhead that I saw again. When they got a player sent off, they equipped themselves well, especially when it went down to 10 men. So turning up in 2 games after wasn't a problem. You just need a wee bit of luck and a wee bit of quality to decide those games.
I know you've had some concerns about the overall running of the club and maybe some of the people
You're trying
in
to
there.
get me to be critical of my club. I would tell that ain't going to happen.
Just in
interview.
terms of the CEO role is obviously still vacant at the moment. What type of character do you feel needs to go in there to help Rangers?
And this is not a criticism, and I made this point last year when I was talking to James Bisgrove about getting involved. You need some football people to help you in there. Now, I'm not talking about me because that boat was sailed for me, but I would just like, and they're not alone. There's a lot of clubs down in England, big clubs with enormous budgets to work with, that don't have enough football people around them. It's something that we seem to neglect, not just here in Scotland, but both in England as well, where we discard people who could do a job for their clubs in terms of offering advice in footballing matters. But we discard that. In Germany, they use them all the time, use ex-players as a sounding board. And I think that's something that maybe we could look at in this country. And it's not just Scotland I'm saying that.
When you say that boat has sailed with you, was that disappointing when that happened? Do you feel you could have been a good asset to the club?
Well, I'm a football person. It's been my life since I was 15 years old. And I felt I could have offered something, but I say I'm not looking for a job now. I'm more than happy with what I do. And, at my age, I'm trying to slow down, but it's not working for me so far. The phone still rings, but I enjoy talking about football. I enjoy watching football, and my life is, how can I put it? I'm blessed because I've still got, touch wood, still got my health. Although I'm sure people will point I'm slowing down in certain areas, but I mix with people I played with, people I played against. Some dear friends are no longer with us, and some people are suffering from one form of dementia or another. So I'm totally blessed, and I'm in a great place, and I'm enjoying my life where I am. So I'm not touting for any job anywhere, believe me.
Graham, back to leadership at Ibrox. There was a story that broke last night that there was a potential American investment. This was quickly shot down by the club. But is that sort of investment something you would welcome into Rangers?
Listen, I wouldn't talk about what they need or don't need. I will stick to what I know, which is football business, and I'm not singling out just my club, Rangers. They could do with some footballing knowledge around them. I would point that finger at Chelsea, who have been ridiculous spenders in the last 3 years, the new owners. So it's not just about Glasgow Rangers. I just feel that we ignore, and not every single player that's finished playing would be worth listening to. I fully accept that. But there are players out there that could offer something to their football clubs that they once played for.
And on the pitch, Philippe Clement says he's not going to park the bus at Celtic Park. What can they do tactically from your perspective to get a result?
Well, I think Celtic will come after you. Celtic always start on fire, especially at Parkhead. You've got to make sure you start right. That's everyone taking part in the defensive duties, but still carry a threat. You can't go there and think you're going to park the bus for 90 minutes. That just would not work. So you have to come up with a system of giving nothing away early on. Hopefully not getting anyone booked early on, because that puts those players under pressure. Keep a clean sheet for as long as you can, carry a threat, and then ultimately open out and create something and score goals. That's I'm describing any big game of football, not just a game at Parkhead.
Final one from me. Cyril Dessers has come under a lot of criticism in his Rangers career, but he's got 4
He
goals
started
so far.
very well this year. For Rangers to go and win at Parkhead this weekend, it's not about one player. It would have to be a complete team effort, with Dessers contributing as much as the other 10.
That would be quite a statement as well, wouldn't it, Graham? If Rangers were to win at Celtic Park, that would be the first time since the COVID season. What would that message send?
When I was here and we were a dominant team, we took nothing for granted going to Parkhead. We didn't always win at Parkhead. You go to Champions League nights, Parkhead is a very, very hard place to win a football match. And there's the added spice of the historic rivalry between the two clubs. It's a very hard place for Rangers to go and get a victory. So it will not be an easy game. There's nothing new, I think. Well, nothing new for the vast majority of players going there, and they've got to know what's coming their way, which will be a fire early on. Deal with it.